Hey guys, another really tough day today. Just so much of this tight range. You can see, we had a huge, nice pre-market, which we ran those calls on overnight, which was a nice win to open the day. But man, we had that big dump, and then we just spent a nice tight range here. Had another dump, tight range, and at the end of the day, we finally were able to. It was really interesting watching. We had a breakout. We failed at. We had a breakout here. We failed. We failed to break out here. I was almost convinced we were failing to break out here, and we finally broke out. You could tell today that the buyers were just pretty tired. All right, so let's take a look at the daily here. So the biggest thing I'm seeing here is we started the week off by pushing up. We tested the 200 EMA. We failed to break through it, so that naturally brought us back down to the 100 EMA. We held that at 390.1, that key support. And now that we held that, we retested the daily 8 EMA and held that nicely. So from here, I really am bullish for next week. I think we will at least retest this 200 EMA. However, if we start losing trend and we eventually break through 390.1, then I will be bearish. We are in a nice rising wedge, and we're still in the overall, if you zoom out here, we're still in this overall bull channel, and then we do have the rising wedge. You can see this rising wedge does bring us to that dark green line, which is the 2022 bear market resistance line. So for Monday, Tuesday, we're looking at about 410 area. Looking at SPY weekly. So interesting trend I'm noticing here. So we have a peak on the channel resistance right here. We have a breakdown, a short peak, breakdown, we touch channel, breakdown, short peak, break, touch the resistance, breakdown, short peak, and then we push up. So there also is a potential, because of how this candle body happened, that this could actually turn into the short peak. So this could be the weekly top right here before we go down, and then we will push up to the channel resistance. But I'm almost more sure that this is the short peak and that we will try to touch the bear market resistance. So currently with this doji right here, we did close the week just barely red. Basically, we held 390 support, which is the 20 EMA on the weekly. We could not break through the 100 or the 50 and close over those. So for me, I struggle here because I see a lot of similarities for a week like this, or even a top like this, and I do wonder if we could have a pretty deep red open on Monday and just kind of see a red week. However, I tend to believe that we will at least retest this 398, 399 level, which is the 100 on the weekly. I think we'll at least test that again and just kind of see where we go from there. But this is a tough spot to be in right here. Key support for next week I'm watching, though, is still 390.1. If we lose that, which will be next week, the weekly 8 EMA, then I'll be looking for that downside. However, if we can close over 398.9, then I'm going to be looking for the test of this bear channel, which that resistance for next week is going to be right there at we'll call it 411.3. Looking at futures, so I was talking more about the bull flag that I was seeing form here, and we had that huge wick right here, but when we look at the candle bodies, it almost really still looks like a nice bull flag, and we held that really nice 39.50 53 support area right there. We could not quite break through 4,000 today. So 4,000 and 39.53 will be our key levels. I do like the test of the 40.28 level right here, 40.27 level for the 200 EMA next week at some point. But we'll just kind of have to see what next week brings. Looking at the weekly on futures, kind of the same trend here. Held the weekly 20, couldn't quite close over the 100 at 4,000, and we definitely couldn't break through the 50. We dead stopped in the tracks right there. So for me, this is our key levels right here. If we close under 39.10, then I do foresee some downside. If we can close over 4,000, then I'm looking for the upside push. So Tesla, I called out yesterday that I was in kind of a predicament because on SPY, I was very bullish. So on SPY yesterday, with this support bounce that we had right here, I was saying, I'm looking for a push up today, which Friday today, and it happened. However, on Tesla yesterday, we had this breakdown and the bear flag had broke, so I was expecting that we could come down and test 177.4, and we sure did. So I wanted to play Tesla puts overnight and SPY calls overnight, but I kind of struggled to be able to do that and just, I mean, to be able to play opposites on things that should move somewhat close together. Obviously, Tesla is a bit of an outlier sometimes, and obviously looking at this, Meta was green, Apple was green, but everybody else was red. So what I ended up doing was just playing SPY calls, which ended up printing really well. And I did play some Tesla puts in the morning. I wish I would have played this rejection off here because that opening candle on Tesla, that was a nasty candle, nasty drop straight to this 177.4 support area, and it just held that all day long. We didn't quite get the breakout on Tesla here that we did on SPY end of day. Actually, it was kind of delayed because this didn't start until about 3 o'clock. And on SPY, we really started pushing up about 2:45. So I did play some SPY calls about here. Well, actually, I had bought them down here, and I was holding them for quite a long time and was able to play until about here. I took profits. But in doing so, I also played some Tesla calls off this support bounce right here for end of day. Closed up both of them super early, but it was a rough day, really rough week, so small profits add up over time. So the biggest thing I'm seeing right now is that we are, if we zoom out a little bit here, we're still in this big red falling wedge. We're in the black falling wedge, and we held this double bottom, and I'm seeing a similar pattern here where we have this nice breakdown. We kind of find a support area, we go up, we re-find the support area, and then we push up. So I'm kind of in the same pattern here. We had the support, the push up, the bounce, and now we should push up. And I'm seeing the same consolidation pattern here. So I'm going to be looking for at least 186.8, but most likely 191.6 sometime next week on Tesla. Hopefully Monday it'll come up here. I did play some Tesla calls overnight. As long as we don't have a big retrace under 177.4, I'll probably continue to hold those Tesla calls. I went with some 7 DTE, but we'll just see what happens at open. Looking at Tesla weekly here, we're in the bear channel here, as you can see still. And we're still in this other steep bear channel, which we're kind of seeing a similar trend here. So I thought we were going to get some consolidation like we were having here, where we just chopped, but we kind of just end up breaking down instead. So we could be at this point right about here, and we might finally see some consolidation, but there's just so much going on with Tesla in the news that it's hard to be like long-term bullish on it. And it also closed below the 200 EMA for the first time since October 2019, so that's a big deal. So that could cause some algos to start selling. We didn't quite hit the bear market resistance, but that for next week is going to be right here about 156.4. So key support though is right here at that 179.9, and then key resistance is 193.1, which also, if we can come up here, 197.7 is this bear market resistance. If we can take that out, and you can see how that weekly 8 EMA is just straight down here. If we can break through that, then we could see some hope of upside. But right now we're just kind of trending, and it's just Tesla's just getting creamed. So looking at the VIX here, we struggled. We came all the way down, had a hard pop here, struggled at 23.5, but we finally closed under it, which is kind of underwhelming if you consider the fact that, I mean, we only closed up about 0.5% today for this type of unwinding straight on the VIX here. But the biggest thing I'm noting here is that pretty much until we can close over the daily 8 EMA on the VIX, there's really no reason to be going long on puts right now. I know people are talking about all the put OI or the put call ratio that's like skyrocketing and stuff, but I mean, for the most part though, we're not ready for it yet. We might come all the way down here to 19.7, I'm not quite sure, but I mean, until we see any sort of meaningful push up and we can close over the 8 EMA and preferably the 20 EMA, I just don't see a reason for us to be going long on puts right now. The time's coming, I think, but it's just not here right now. Just a quick update on Bitcoin. It is testing. It is sitting right at its bear market resistance, or its resistance, sorry, from that huge crash it had last week. Or I guess 2 weeks ago. 1 week ago now. Biggest thing here is it did test the 8 EMA on the daily, rejected hard. So now we're just kind of in this chop zone here. So we're basically just kind of chilling right here between 16.3 and really 16.8. All right, I hope you guys had a good day, and I will see you guys on Monday. Don't forget there will be a YouTube live, hopefully tomorrow night. I'm trying to get everything prepared for that. I'm just waiting for YouTube to give me the permissions to do that. But if that doesn't work, I will just record a video kind of like this, and I'm going to go over basically my support lines and how I draw them and why I draw them in certain areas and things like that. So, all right, hope you guys have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. Thanks for tuning to this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated to my videos. This is the Lifetime Discord link. If that does not work, go ahead and drop me a comment or send me a message and I'll get you a new one. On the Discord, I do pre-market update with key supports and resistance from overnight. I also do live analysis and commentary throughout the day on SPY and Tesla. And I also do my live alerts for call-outs for plays that you guys see in my daily log. You can follow me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit under Daddy Dersh.